This is episode 542 of the Eventing Radio Show, brought to you by Eventing Riders Association of North America. This week we have Ronald Zabala-Goetschel and we have Emily Holmes. This is Max Corcoran in pretty nice, but kind of chilly today, Ocala, Florida.
And this is Joe from the very same place, and you are listening to the Eventing Radio Show. So, Max.
Joe.
I thought it has been a while, and I thought, and we haven't chatted for ages, but I thought we were going to, I thought I was going to be in the swimming pool. We had like that really nice weather this week, didn't we? It was all beautiful, and then it got cold again.
Yeah, we had that little bit of a rain, but it's going to be warm again tomorrow, so it's okay. So I've had rain this year, though. I tell you, we've had a lot of rain. It's been a
much wetter winter than we've been used to, but saying that, we've still got a bit of grass growing and things, which is nice. Saves us a little bit of money on hay, which is very good. I was over at Liz Halliday's today doing a bit of cross-country schooling. Very good. At her very nice place. I had a it's very nice. She's got an amazing little schooling field there, and it's good. It's kind of, I'm not sure if it's like for lower level horses, like low. It's more sort of mid-range, and there's a lot of skinnies and angles and all that sort of stuff. So it's like it's just I'd say it was mid-range, but it's like if you need a place to go with your good intermediate horses or something, and you want a tune up, it was great. We had a 2 airbag day, Max.
Ah, shoot.
I know.
They weren't your airbags, were they?
No, not mine, Max. Not mine. They were my students. Yes. But it was just learning experience. Yeah, both times. But anyway, but they go pop. It's fun, and I'm not gonna laugh. But I swear I saw somebody bounce today. So, but apart from that, everything was pretty good. We're very busy here in Ocala at the moment, listeners. We've got everything. Happening. Yeah, it was hard to even pin Max and I down to even get the show done. We're so busy. We are flat out, and we've got Ocala last weekend. We've got Rocking Horse this weekend with the advanced dressage tomorrow, Thursday.
What do we got next week? We've got the ICP clinic with Maxime Levo. We've got the Young Event Horse and Future Event Horse clinics. We've got derbies and schooling, and then every Tuesday and Wednesday there's either at Sarah Murphy's or Clayton Fredericks or Justine Dutton's there's a show jumping schooling show.
Well, that was on today, the Clayton Fredericks one.
And they've had to make it into 2 days because they couldn't fit all the jumping into one day to have everything from the tadpole all the way up to the advance. So now they go Tuesday afternoons and all day Wednesday, and it's wild. They had 600 horses last weekend, 500 horses coming up this weekend. This is so insane.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't run back-to-back weekends, Max.
No, I know. So it tells you how many horses there are.
Yeah. There's a lot of horses in the area, and things are very busy. But it's awesome, though. We're loving it.
And that's just the eventing. That's before you got hits and everything else.
I went over there the other day. I had a little foray into show hunter dealing. Max.
Oh dear, how was that?
Well, it was an eye opener.
A lot of standing around.
There's a lot of standing around, and I've got a much better idea now of what's needed for a show hunter and stuff.
They have and very specific what it can do and what it cannot do.
And I'm starting to get a bit of the lingo. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
The lingo's different. Lingo. Yeah. They've got to be able to. They play in the 3-3, means they do 3 foot, but they can play in the 3-3 or play in this. It's like weird stuff.
Yeah. It's like us if a horse that does training, but it can play at preliminary. Yeah. And it's and there for 3 inches to them doesn't seem like much to us, but for them it's a big deal.
Oh, it's enormous. Yeah. And I even rode some show hunters, which I found very funny because they dive at the fences, Max. I wasn't used to that.
No.
they go from a mile back and they dive. It's a weird,
they put
weird
their
sensation.
heads down low and then they sort of over it, and then and they land a bit flat-footed at the same time, don't they? Yeah.
And if they don't do a change each way, they're history.
Oh no, no. Yeah, that's non-negotiable.
That's right.
Non-negotiable.
No, so it was interesting. So I met a few new people and things, and it's not like eventing, is it? But anyway, I'm not going to say anything nasty.
They're really, really good show hunters, though. I will say those horses are really amazing athletes. The ones that can do the 4 foot plus, the working hunters, they're pretty amazing, and those riders are pretty amazing because they look like they're not doing anything and they're doing a lot. So that I will give them due credit, but. In the lower level stuff, it's they make a division so every single person can compete. The modified adult amateur under 35, the modified adult amateur over 35, the modified adult amateur. So it
goes on too much, Max.
So many divisions, and they felt small, which is weird. But that's So there you go. There you go.
I'm checking out. Okay, well, I'm changing the subject. Max, we went to an awesome party last night, didn't we?
Oh, wasn't it? It was such a great it was such a great party. It was just a great celebration for our friends Peter Gray and Paul Delbrook, who got married this summer, and because they were up in Canada when they did that, and all their friends are here in Ocala, and we were all here, and so we had a really fun party. And Paige Flournoy and Irene Lampton and Ann Scott put on this fabulous party for everybody to be there. I could have stayed there forever.
Yeah, well, the lovely, classy ladies that put on the party was fantastic, and food was amazing and things. And congratulations to Peter and Paul, because they've all they're just like stalwarts in the eventing community here. Absolutely. I mean, they sold Ruthie and I our farm and all of that. I mean, just fabulous people. So
they are great, and they've been So it was a fun night full of eventers, and we did have a good night, and some other people, and drank some dark and stormies from Peter's home of Bermuda, and it was great. I loved it.
It was good.
And the weather was perfect. It was a beautiful night.
And anyway, Max, we're going to have to get on with our show. And before we do that, before our first guest, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Springtime Supplements, for supporting our show.
Springtime Supplements has been dedicated to improving the lives of horses with the Springtime brand of supplements, and they've been doing it since 1979. Springtime offers supplements for joint health, immune support, calming, hoof and coat, insect control, and much, much more. Before we tell you about one of their really interesting products, Ahi Flower Oil, we wanted to mention they have a special just for listeners of the Eventing Radio Show. You receive an automatic 15% off and free shipping just for mentioning the show. Be sure to go to springtimeinc.com/eventing or call Springtime at 800-521-3212 and be sure to mention the discount code eventing. Have you ever heard about their Ahi flower oil? We all know the importance of essential fatty acids for horses, but recently a plant was discovered to provide completely balanced omega-3, 6, and 9. They call it Ahi flower. Until now, you had a few options. You could use fish oil, but let's face it, horses are herbivores. They didn't evolve to consume fish oil. There's also flax, but Ahi flower has been shown in clinical studies to provide better omega-3, 6, 9 absorption and balance in horses. It's proven to be better than flax or fish. This is the type of expertise you'll get from Springtime, who are always in the forefront of the latest research. And don't forget that Springtime also has a full line of canine products to keep your dogs at peak wellness too. That website again is springtimeinc.com/eventing or give them a call, 800-521-3212.
We have Ecuadorian rider Ronald Zabala-Goetschel. Did I pronounce the last bit right, Ronald?
Yes,
I did. Fantastic.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
You got it.
Awesome. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
How
good.
are you?
Thank you. Very good. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And I just want to tell the listeners that Ronald, we had to track him down. He's down in Ecuador at the moment. And we thought that he lived in America and did things because we see him all the time. But he's just gone off down there. But the reason why we wanted to get him on the show is that Ronald's done has been doing a whole lot of really interesting things in eventing, and he's just opened a brand new place that Max and I were very lucky to be invited to the opening about a week and a half ago, which was fantastic. So we're going to sort of talk about that. But his most famous horse so far is a horse called Wise Guy. And Ronald, for the listeners, Wise Guy, tell us a little bit about Wise Guy for a start, and then I want you to tell us about the clones and why you decided to do that.
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Jennifer, Max, and Joe. Okay, about Wise Guy. Sometimes we are lucky enough to have a horse that changes our life. And that's Wise Guy to me. He changed my life completely. I was struggling at the 2-star level with horses that were not sound. And I was also limping. I got injured. I broke my leg. And for a year and a half, I was limping, full of metals in my right leg. I broke my femur. And then they told me I will be able to get those pins out in a couple of months. And I decided to go to France looking for horses. And a French judge, who's a friend of mine, invited me to see horses at Mondial de Lyon. And when I went there, I was trying to, pick a proper horse. And then I saw Wise Guy coming from the warm-up of cross country to cross country. And I thought that was the one. Long story short, the moment I saw that horse, I started praying, saying, God, please, I've been limping for too long. My horses were lame for too long. I need to change my life. And I think that horse will change my life. 2 weeks after that, Wise Guy was mine. And then everything started changing. And he was a 2-star horse. He was 7 years old. He took me together. We grew up together in the sport. He took me to my first 3-star that I was able to complete. He took me to Rolex in 2009. And why I decided to clone him? Because he was very special to me. In 10.5 years that he competed at FEI level, he only got 18 poles down. I have horses that can do that in 1 weekend, So he got 18 poles.
Me too. Yeah.
And in 10.5 years competing FEI, even in national competitions, he never, ever had a run out or a stop. He never did that. So, and then he was beginning to get old, and I was like, I want to have more horses like this one. So I decided to clone him. And I ordered one clone, and they failed the first time. And then the second attempt, they tried with more mares, and out of all the mares they tried, 3 babies were born. So I decided to keep all of them, because you don't pay for the 3. You pay for the first one, then you pay only 20% for the second one and 15% for the third one.
Oh.
So for 135%, you get 3 horses. Is a good deal.
Yeah, it is a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah,
wow.
That's the story. That's why I decided to clone him, and then I also became friends with the owner of the mare, and it took me a while to convince her to let me have an embryo out of the mare, and then we did. We got a full sister of Wise Guy, and then we have babies. So the Wise family has grown. I have 11 relatives of Wise Guy. I found semen of his sire, and I kept breeding. So I have 11 more Wise Guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got on the sire side, you've got Wise Guy, and on the dam side, you've got Wise Guy. So that's amazing.
Yeah. It's quite interesting. And Wise Guy has changed my life in many, many ways. Not only taking me around the big courses, but because of I met many people. And many. Most likely, why we're having this interview now is because of Wise Guy. He got me here. So,
and you did a fun
change
thing.
My life.
You had a fun children's book that you wrote as well about Wise Guy, didn't you?
Yeah, many people wanted to buy Wise Guy. I got people from France, people from Belgium, from other places, even from selectors from USA that wanted to buy Wise Guy for the team. And he had a lot of fans, and many people wanted Wise Guy. And I thought writing a little book, a coloring book of Wise Guy, was a way to share my Wise Guy with many of his fans. So that's why I did it. And that book also changed my life a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, my children are wise kids. Because that's what you are. Okay. You get the wise. Yeah. You have the wise guy book, and they've got the wise guy T-shirts, and we are wise kids. And they really
Cool.
got a huge. Yeah, they did. They got a huge amount of enjoyment actually out
Perfect.
of it.
I'm glad.
No, they did. And so at some stage, they're going to come and catch up with Wise Guy themselves.
For sure. So, they have to come and see him.
Yeah.
And Wise Guy had to come. Wise Guy is actually turning 20 years old on March 24th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But he still looks great. He were able to see him.
I was going to say
the grand opening. He's looking great. He's happy. He goes wherever I go. Wise Guy and Big Boy, the horse that took me to the Olympics in 2012, they travel wherever I go. When I go to Ocala, they come with me. I go to Pennsylvania, they come with me. And my other horse that has changed my life a lot is Wandermask. We call him Patch. So that's also a horse that will keep going. He's turning 16 this year, but I think he can keep going for 2 more years. He's feeling great. And he will be also a horse.
Why don't you give us a little bit of his history, actually, because it's a pretty cool story.
Which one, sorry?
About Patch. Yeah.
Patch, I was looking for horses, and I was trying many places. I was vetting horses in Europe, in Australia, and none of them passed the vetting. So I was kind of disappointed. And with some friends in common with Sharon White, they recommended this horse. So I went to see him, and I said, okay, I like him. I'll give it a shot, and it's going well. I like him a lot. He's a little tricky in dressage, but he's a good horse. Keeps going and going. And one thing special about Patch, he's 16, turning 16 this year, and he has never, ever had an injury. Never a tendon, never a joint, never a ligament, nothing. I wish I had more horses like that. He doesn't even know how to spell Butte. He doesn't know that.
That's excellent.
Oh, dear. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Patch is the horse that took me to the WEG in 2018. And soon in April, we'll start doing the Olympic qualifiers with him.
That's excellent. Yeah. He's I looked after Patch for Sharon when I was helping her a bit, and he's just a very personable, very sweet horse, and he's a good boy. You guys were great in Tryon this year. First clear show jumping round, I believe.
Yeah, it was. He was a very good boy. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah.
He tried his heart out. I'm very proud, and I had to be thankful. In the show jumping, I was training with Busy Madden and John Madden. They helped me a lot. Patch was not a horse being known for being a clear show jumper, and he started getting clear rounds 2 years ago. And then with the help of the Maddens, he improved a lot.
Good for you to take that, to have those guys. That's pretty great to be able to work with those guys.
It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I always wanted to train with them. And a friend of mine from Ecuador was working for John, and he introduced them to me, and it was great. I always admire, because I think they're very good horsemen. They take good care of their other horses. They're not aggressive. They always respect their horses, and that's the way I'd like to treat my horses. So it was perfect. We clicked really nicely from the beginning.
Yeah, it's interesting watching those guys produce their horses, because they sort of they get horses that they are aiming for one place or another, and they work their way backwards very progressively for those horses to be very good at where they're supposed to be good. Right. There is a process for every single horse, which I find really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they're very, very good.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. And then, Ronald, your new place in Ocala, tell us a little bit about that, because that was really great.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I've been going to Ocala since I started going to the States in 2003. That's when I brought my first horse. Bandido was his name. Bandido, yes, you remember? I
remember Bandido, yes.
Che Bandido. He was the first horse I brought. And, little by little, I started bringing more horses. Then I started breeding. I have a very nice program for breeding show jumpers, eventers, and dressage. And it kept growing. And then I found myself in a spot that I was paying too much in board at places in Ocala, and I punched the numbers, and it was very clear that I would save a lot of money if I had my own place. All the money that I was paying for renting houses and for boarding my horses could go to a mortgage. And then I started looking for farms, and I couldn't find a nice farm. And then after looking for 2 months, I found this place, which is fantastic. The owner kept good care of this place. It was very well maintained. Everything was perfect. Everything was painted. The fences were perfect. The other places that I visited, they were really deteriorating all the time. This one was perfect. And it had a hill. It had a racetrack. And then I decided to build a cross-country course in the infield. It had a huge barn with 112 stalls. So I sold 68 of those stalls. And we built a riding indoor in the same barn. So it's perfect. And I couldn't be happier. And it's nice because I can also share that with my friends, There are not many hills in Ocala. So I have people coming every day now to cross-country school. They come to gallop at the track. They come to gallop on the hill. So it's very nice to be able to share also my place with my friends.
Oh, and it's your cross-country courses. It's sort of an eventer's paradise, isn't it? From all levels, from the smallest level right on up to the top level. You've got a little bit of everything for everybody. Not a little bit, a lot of everything for everybody.
Yes, I wanted to have the best possible cross-country playground. So I talked to Captain Mark Phillips, and he designed it for me. He did a great job. I think he's a very good course designer. Of course, he did a great job at the WEG. And I wanted to have something nice there. So he came and did a great job.
Yeah, no, it's beautifully built and everything. It's just a really cool. It was a real treat getting to be there, and then getting to see your whole facility. And then the other cool thing was getting to see all of your horses, and for you to be able to show everybody. The stallions and the mares and the prodigy and how this happened and where this one came from, and to see them all together was actually I thought was really quite fascinating.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot. I put a lot of passion in everything I do. And to be honest, breeding to me is one of my favorite things, For me, riding is the second one. First is breeding. So if I can then ride the horses I bred, is the best thing ever for me. I'm very happy when I can breed and I can start competing my horses that I bred, that I know since they were babies, and most of them are born with me. I help them come out of their mamas. I live next to them, so I have 4 watchers. My apartment is right next to the foaling rooms, so they call me at the moment their baby's they're gonna be born, and I come out and I help. So from the first second they breed, they're used to my boys, my smell. And it creates a very good bond with my horses,
Yeah. And we got to see a couple of them this weekend. You rode, I can't remember the name of the one you rode, but I did watch Jenny Brannigan ride Wise Cooper, which was I think was obviously fairly emotional and pretty great for Jenny to be able to compete.
It was very nice because when we were trying to breed Wise Guy's dam, she was 19 then, and she was not getting pregnant with frozen semen. We were talking at Phillips there, and Jenny was there, and I go, Jenny, give me an idea which horse we can use. The vet says we need fresh semen to get that mare active again. And then she said, why don't you try the sire of Cooper, who is in Holland? His name is Cornant. And I go, that's a good idea. So we did that, and we were able to get that mare pregnant. We pulled the embryo, and that's Wise Cooper. And then a month after, we were able to breed that mare to Wise Guy sire, and that's how we got a full sister of Wise Guy. Wow. It was interesting. And Cooper is a very nice horse. This weekend didn't go as we expected. Nothing went as we expected with the weather.
No.
No, he was second after dressage and tied for second after show jumping. And then it was the first time he was competing, the first time out, and it rained so hard that the horse couldn't handle that. I mean, the horse didn't want to do anything because country, he just didn't want to go even close to the first jump. He was like, I'm done. It was hard. I also presented another homebred, and I tried to jump with her cross country. It was difficult to see with all that rain, and I jumped 3 jumps, and I said, "That's it. I retired," because it was too much. It was getting deep. Horses were not happy. A lot of horses were having runouts. Other horses were stopping in the course because they were worried. Then I decided there's always another day. I respect my horses, and I will come another day when the weather is better.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And you have, I mean, I feel like we probably saw, Joe, how many horses we saw? So we probably saw 30.
Must have been 20, 25, 30.
Yeah. I think so. Tell us about other ones. You've got a beautiful Master Imp and on one side, and I think Royal Dick on the other side. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, we had Royal Dick. We have one. And also the one by Royal Dick was a year and a half ago, was the 2-year-old East Coast champ. And I also presented the winningest horse ever for future event horses, Wise Master Rubelk. After the Olympics in 2012, I was so proud of my horse, Big Boy, that I went to Ireland and I bought his 2 sisters that I liked the most. And then I bred them to horses that I had. So that horse, that Master Rubel, who is the one that has won number 1 in the country as a yearling and as a 3-year-old, in the 3 years he was number 1 in the East Coast, competing against 1, 2, and 3-year-olds. He's a nephew of Big Boy. And the interesting thing, this is a funny thing, how I got to breed his sire, how I got to get that sire of that horse. That was the 4th generation of horses. I didn't have any money, and I was able to buy a retired racehorse many years ago, and I didn't have time to ride. So I traded that horse for a mare. Then I got a loan, and then I got to buy a dose of semen from a nice stallion, and I got this filly. And then I didn't have money to breed that filly. So I went to the owner and I said, "Ruben, I have no money, but I love your stallion. All I have is a camera, a picture camera." He laughed. And then he said, "Okay, I'll help you." So I bought a breeding dose, trading with a camera.
Did you?
That's how I started my breeding program.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Just got to keep dreaming, don't you?
Yeah. You have to make it happen one way or the other. But it was funny, the expression of that guy when he saw me coming to negotiate with an old camera.
That is so great.
But it worked. And then I produced that stallion, and then I had that baby, and he's a sire of Master Rubelk. So that's how my breeding program became successful little by little.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That is awesome.
And so tell us about, there's a place in Pennsylvania now, and you've got the place in Ocala, and is the breeding program going to sort of stay mainly in Ocala, or you take the horses up and back with you? Or
no,
how do
I
you
take them to Pennsylvania and back to Ocala. I'll tell you why. When the first year, my first crop, I kept them in Pennsylvania during the winter. They didn't grow much. They did not grow much. And I said, this is not working. The horses burn too much of their energy trying to stay warm and not growing.
Yeah, sure.
And I decided to bring them south. And you can see the difference in sizes from the first year that they come every year with me to Ocala. I'm talking, there's like one more hand, like 4 more inches of, they're bigger. And, even thoroughbred people do that, they breed the horses in Kentucky and then send them to Ocala so they don't have to live in that cold weather during the winter. Yeah. So Ocala is a better place to raise them, so they can grow up better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then during the summer, they come back with me to Pennsylvania. I like to keep my horses with me, so they have to come with me.
Right.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And so what's going on for the future? I mean, obviously you're getting ready now to start the qualifiers for the next Olympics. And when do we get to see you out on one of the Wise Guy clones?
The Wise Guys clones will start competing in a month.
Wow. Okay.
They're turning 8. So, it took me way longer than I wanted. But it's not that I want it that way. I always go slow with my horses, but I usually like to start competing when they're 6. But I had an issue 5 years ago. I had a silly accident and I almost died. So I was for 5 months in a dark room. And then it took me like a year to be able to come back.
I forgot about that. My goodness.
Yeah. I almost died.
Wow.
And, I didn't think, I was not sure if I was coming back to do anything. I was to the point that I couldn't read or write or talk. So it took me a while. And so, and then I had to go back home to keep recovering and to change my visa status. So to renew my visa. So pretty much for a year and a half, I was not riding. So it was hard. It was very hard. And thank God I am back. I'm competing again at the upper levels. But it was a difficult thing to have to spend most of the time in a dark room because I couldn't tolerate any sound or light. So I was coming out of the room like 1 hour a day to see my horses and then back to bed.
Oof.
But anyway, we're back. Thanking
yes.
God every day for
life.
No,
it was a big deal for Ronald. It was huge.
Yeah. It was tough.
It was huge.
Goodness me.
Yeah, no, it was a big deal. It was a lot of we didn't see Ronald for a little bit there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but anyway, we're back. As I said, thanking God every day for every day that I can go out and keep riding and be alive. We have to be thankful with life and with God.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad to be able to come back and compete at the WEG. And as I said, this year, I will start the qualifiers on April for the Olympics. And another thing that I can share with you that many people that know me know what is my dream. My dream was always to go to the Olympics representing Ecuador. And Big Boy got me there. We were the first riders from Ecuador ever to compete in eventing at Olympics. So it's really nice. I'm very proud of my horse.
Yep.
And my dream is to someday compete at the Olympics in a horse bred by me. That would be
that's really cool.
That would be the best dream coming true. That proves you as a breeder, as a handler, as a trainer, as a rider, everything. So that's the goal.
I got close, Max.
You did get close, didn't you, Joe?
Well, the horse was bred by my dad.
Yeah, but still, it was bred by your family.
Your dad bred a freak of a horse, 2 Olympic gold medals. I mean,
well, that's the other one.
Have flown that horse.
No, that look, that's crazy. That's a different story. No, the horse I rode at the Olympics, Ronald was Snip, and Dad bred him, and he was very, very proud because he had bought the horse, the stallion he found. It was not a non-commercial stallion, but it was in our local area. They'd come over from America, and he just hadn't really produced anything, but he was a beautiful horse, and we started breeding with him, and he had beautiful jumpers, and he was the sire of Silence and my Snip and Sanskrit and all those horses. But he'd also found the mare at a sale, and he liked the mare, and he'd bred the horse, and he bred me. And we went to the Olympics.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So he bred a course on riding combination.
No, mum and dad were pretty happy, and the other one, Charisma. I mean, he's a freak, and but it was very lucky to have Mark Todd on him, of course. That makes a big difference. But Dad actually had. I have to tell Ronald this because I haven't told him this, but Dad had 2 full sisters and a half sister of Charisma in his polo team.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, in his polo team.
How didn't breed those mares to super stallions and get more Olympic horses?
Well, because I think it was by the time the polo ponies had gone and Charisma got a bit older and things, it was sort of, we've got the bloodlines are still there, but those mares weren't there. But the bloodlines are still there, and it's another conversation, but I'll sit down and tell you all about it at some stage, Ron.
Interesting. I'd like to hear that.
I've got a very special little baby that I really like at the moment. Her name's Chili Bean, and she's by Chili Morning out of some of the very old stock Marmaku bred horses, and she's dark brown, looks nothing like Chili Morning, and goes just like a Marmaku horse. Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Ronald, I think
are you looking forward to to try to take Patch to Tokyo? Is that sort of a Blue Sky World plan?
Yeah, I have a couple of horses that I've been preparing for that. Yes. But Patch is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
Patch keeps getting better and better every day. Very proud of my Patch. So yeah, he will be going to the qualifiers, and I have a homebred also, who is also actually the sire of that Master Rubelk. That I think he will be doing 2-star at the end of the year, and next year he will try to qualify for Tokyo 2020. And I have another horse also that I got a couple of months ago that will be doing also the qualifiers. So I'm very happy with the horse I have right now. I'm very positive that I will be having a great time with these competitions.
Great.
Well, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Rightio. Well, Ronald, thank you very, very much for coming on the show and telling us all about it. And thanks again for having us round. Max and I, didn't we have a great time, Max?
Oh, it was such a nice night. I really enjoyed the night. It was great.
No, it was great to have you guys on my farm. Thank you very much, Max and Joe. It was great to have you there. I always wanted to have my friends there.
And for people that want to come and gallop on the hill or use the cross country, is there a website? How do they get hold of you?
Right now, we're building the website. Right now, we're using Facebook, and people send me messages on Facebook, and then I give them my phone number. And right now, I'm in Ecuador, as I said, and through WhatsApp, people are sending me messages, and then I send messages back to the manager of the farm, and everything is working out. We're having people coming every day to school, cross country, to gallop on the track, to gallop on the hill. So it's nice, and the people are using the track the way I intended. The galloping track, I put fences every 200 meters, and there are plastic.
Oh, this is great! This is great, by the way. Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
That's
Sorry,
great. Yeah.
This is fantastic. I've got one of my students is going down there, and she's learning how to pace herself and know how fast to go and stuff, because it's all measured out and with her stopwatch, and soon she's going to be doing it without a stopwatch. It's just fantastic. So sorry,
That's
John.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ronald.
It helped me a lot, I'll tell you, because we punch the numbers and we put these plastic jumps that look like walls and logs. So if you hit them, they come down, nothing happens. And if you go at the new 2-star speed at 520 meters per minute, it takes you 23 seconds between jumps. If you go at 3-star, which is 550 meters per minute, it takes you 21.8 seconds. If you go at 4-star or 5-star speed, which is 570 meters, it will take you 21.05 seconds between the jumps. So it helps you feel the speed for each horse you have. Like last week, 2 weeks ago, I was galloping Patch and my other 4-star horse, and I was going at 22 seconds between jumps. That's about 540 meters per minute. And if I felt the speed, but 2 weeks before that, I was galloping and I thought I was going super fast, and I was only going at 500 and without jumps. So it helps you get the feeling of what speed you need. And then I gallop a young horse I have, and I thought I was going at the speed of light. I was kicking and, pushing the horse. When I checked the watch, I was at 28 seconds. So I was going about show jumping speed, So it helps you develop the feeling, for each horse.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it helps you ride without having to pull the reins, just you learn to go at that speed. And if you are able to go to those jumps at 520 meters per minute, pretty much you are good to go advanced, because you don't go at 570 meters per minute to a jump, because you always slow down a little bit. But if you can keep a constant of 520 in front of a jump, I think you are all set to ride at upper levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Well, so that's it, listeners. If you heard that, you could just need to message Ronald on Facebook if anyone needs to go down there and use the facilities, which are fantastic. And if you are wondering where it is, it's pretty easy. Just think across the road and from the horse park and up a little bit. Okay, it's from the Florida Horse Park. It's really, really easy to find, and we're all excited because it's just another fantastic facility in Ocala that we get to play with, which is just awesome. So
yes, okay.
Yeah. So, Ronald, thank you so much for coming on the show. We've had really, thanks for having us. Thank you for showing us the horses the other day. It was just awesome. And good luck with everything that's coming up.
The Eventing Riders Association of North America is the collective voice of riders, equine professionals, and owners in pursuit of enhancing the growing sport of eventing in North America. In cooperation with our members, governing bodies, related committees, and organizers, ERA of NA works to improve the overall welfare, safety, visibility, and growth of the sport. ERA of NA, your voice matters for the sport of eventing. Jump in and engage by becoming a member today. Find them online at www.eraofna.com.
Joining us now is our friend from the Florida Horse Park, one of the fantastic people that helps keep that place going, Emily Holmes. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
So, Emily, there's been a lot of really cool stuff that's been happening at the horse park recently. We obviously just, Joe and I have just been there for the Ocala horse trials, the big winner one with, 602 entries or something like that. And you guys have now taken over that competition. You guys are now the organizers of all the Ocala horse trials and stuff. Talk to our listeners, just tell our listeners a little bit about the Florida Horse Park, where it's, and it's a little bit of its history.
Sure. It's been going for quite a few years now. Actually, Shelley, now Paige, started all of the eventing stuff back in 2008. Sorry, there's deer. So it's been getting, building and building and building. Peter Gray, John Holling took it over for a few years. And then Richard Trayford came in and took it over as well. And, every year it got a little bit bigger. It got a little bit better. We took it over from Richard. This is our first year. So we are very excited. I think we had record numbers last weekend, which was intimidating, but also very fun. We're building new jumps. I think we've built, 18 new intermediate and prelim fences, some training and novice, and then our new modified will be ready for March. So I'm really excited about that one.
Wow. And so the horse park, it's a state park, right? So it's owned by the state, the Florida Horse Park. And you guys have not only eventing, but you've got a lot of other things that happen there too, don't you?
We have just about every single discipline. I got emails today about putting on a Tennessee Walker show, and we have the Florida cutting horse there. Next weekend, we have combined driving. I mean, literally everything you can think of, we have, which is cool. It's really fun.
It's been probably kind of interesting for you because you obviously you're an eventing type person. That's your background. And so obviously that's what you're very familiar with. But to sort of see these other disciplines must be kind of cool in some ways because the people are just about as passionate about what they do as we are about what we do. Yeah. Yeah,
it was cool. They had this weird show going on in the cupboard, right? Yeah. And you can tell me what it is, but it was just weird stuff, right? They had like kind of funny, like old period costumes on, and they were going around on these horses. Like it was kind of like a big Pasifino, with old music playing. What was that?
It was an organ.
It was an organ.
Yeah.
It was so. I was telling Max earlier that the whole booking other events during the horse trials happened when Richard was still running Equiventures. So I didn't actually anticipate having to run 602 horses through horse trials and deal with other shows. So last weekend was a gated horse show. So there were Tennessee Walkers and Pasafinos and Rocky Mountain horses. And yes, there was an organist. And so, yeah, it made for a pretty colorful weekend.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So you've got, and you guys now, with the covered arena and the new barns, and that's just happened the last few years. Your new arenas, and what else is coming up for the horse park?
Oh boy. We've got the new barns. We've got 320 stalls now. The new entrance off 475A is paved and open to all competitors all the time, which that was really cool. We've got this year, I'm really excited about it, and most people aren't, but the county is running sewer to the horse park.
They're running what?
A new show office.
Oh.
Sewer.
Oh, okay.
You're kidding?
I got you.
Ah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you're not
I'm
gonna.
Really excited.
Yeah, well, it's kind of an exciting thing, especially if you don't like portaloos like me.
Yeah.
Not really.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a fan either. So we'll have the same exact welcome center. Pretty much is getting built on the other side of the covered arena.
Right.
So they'll have their own proper show office with bathrooms, and then it's great because it's actually going to run through all of the RV sites. So we'll be able to offer sewer for all the hookups and stuff, which is really exciting. I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome.
No, it is really cool because it means that people can come and stay a little bit longer, and if they want to, and just especially with big RVs the way they are nowadays and things, that it just makes everything a lot more convenient. Don't worry, Max.
Yeah, for sure.
I know about this because I'm like a Disney campground guru.
Oh,
okay?
that's right. I forgot about that. Yes, you are. Yep.
And if you could get them to put it in a bit of cable TV along with the sewer, you're going to be rocking and rolling.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look, I'm trying so hard to get Wi-Fi, but it is so expensive. So if there are any listeners that have any connections, call me.
Oh, goodness.
But that would be a really cool thing to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, honestly,
it
would be huge. Yeah, because then our PA system, our new PA system, which I'm really excited about, is set up so that in the future when we do get Wi-Fi, you'll be able to be talking on a mic and hit a button, and your voice can go everywhere or just this one spot. And so that, we plan for the future when we put that in this year.
Yeah. Well, it makes live streaming a lot easier too.
I know. When we're bored,
live
streaming and warm up. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that would be actually really cool. Yeah.
That would be really cool. So you've got these new arenas in, and they're really big, and they're but they've got this. Tell the listeners quickly about how they work. The new arenas.
Oh, the watering system.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So they are subterranean irrigated, which means when the arena was built, they put in basically a pool liner, and then I'm sorry to the arena builders for me dumbing it down like this, but then they just put in pipes every 12 inches, and they covered the pipes with sand, and then we put in the fiber and rototilled it all together. It's about 12 inches of sand before you get down to the pipes, but there's a very fancy sensor system, and technology is technology, and sometimes it's amazing, but there's a sensor level, and when the water in the arena is a little too low, the pumps automatically kick on and water up through the footing. And when there's too much water, the pumps kick on and literally suck the water out. So I know that there was a picture circulating around Facebook a few weeks ago. Thanks, Kyle. But the arenas actually suck the water out on their own, which is really cool. And it means that a couple months ago, we literally got 8 inches of rain. And then the next day, we were jumping on the rings in a pop show. And the footing was awesome. Yeah. So they're really, really cool.
That is
they're
awesome.
They're work in progress, and it's a learning curve. But they haven't even been in for a year yet. So we're really excited about them. They're really awesome.
Yeah, and it's nice just to be able, so people, we've got the polo field for eventing, we've got the polo field that we use for some of the dressage, and then to also be able to do some dressage on the all-weather footing and the show jumping show jumping warm-up. It really makes it a better experience for everybody, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And I think that, at some point, ideally, all dressage will be run on the footing too. But for now, we're just going to have to suffer through that grass for a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. I can't say it's all that bad. So what else? So we've got you guys have your pop shows, other things that the eventers would be interested in. You've got your pop shows, which is those are great unrecognized competitions, and along with some show jumping, schooling, and all that can go on all at the same time, isn't it? So you've got what else do you have going on there? Young event horse, future event horse, new event horse.
Yeah, I've got all those running February, March, April. I'm pretty sure there's like 2 riders holding the entire series right now. So everybody get your entries in. But I breed. So I'm really excited about the whole future event horse, new event horse, young event horse stuff. And then we have Marilyn Payne coming for a dressage clinic this month. Erin Brinkman is a Grand Prix dressage rider. She'll be coming for a clinic next month. It is the season, there's something, I want to say every weekend, but right now we've got stuff
just about every day.
Everything.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
And if people want to find out more information about all this, do they just go to the Florida Horse Park website?
Yep. www.flhorsepark.com. I'm on Facebook. People can always shoot me a message on Facebook or add me or whatever. And I keep the Horse Park Facebook page is really updated. That's a good spot to check on stuff as well.
Well, Emily, thank you so much. We're going to let you go and finish your drive back home. But thank you for taking time to chat with us and tell us more about the horse park and what's all going on there.
Max, that horse park is just getting bigger and flasher and cooler. And I remember when I very first arrived here, they had one very average arena. It had been put in like ages ago where it was a wax surface in Florida, which obviously the wax just melts, goes straight into the drains. But it doesn't work at all. And now they've got like footing that is like basically second to none, an amazing technical system, which is just unbelievable. And for the people,
great group there, a great crew of people that run it, and they're just looking to improve it all the time. Jason, who runs the horse park there, he's great, and he's on hand all the time. They just want to make it better, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, well, they're looking to build an advanced course now, which is going to be even better.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get an advanced run in our fall down here in Ocala to sort of get in line with getting things going towards the Jockey Club.
Yeah.
Which would be fantastic. And another advanced run down here in Ocala, which would be great for us.
Yes.
We would really, really like that. But speaking of shows, Max, we've got, I was going to say a little show, but it's not really even that little. It's probably the coolest show coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up. It's looming up on us, Max, isn't it?
Tell out less than 3 weeks now. Listeners. Yes, the eventing actually, let me rephrase that. It is the Ocala Horse Properties Eventing Pre-Invitational, which is cool. The Ocala Horse Properties, Chris, Rob, and Matt have signed on again to be the title sponsors, and they're just awesome. Those guys are so great because they don't really sponsor a lot of other eventing things, but they love this show. So I'm really excited that they're going to be part of it again. And we got some cool stuff. We got $20,000 in prize money this year, which is $5,000 more than we've been able to do in the past. And we got some. I'm excited. We've got John Kyle who's going to come and announce. We've got the live feed again, which will be great. I got Jenny Autry who's going to come and help do that. I got a scoreboard this year. Going to have a big old scoreboard, which will be really cool. And we will have fantastic catering for the after party done by my co-host, which will be really great.
Well, Joe Meyer Eventing. Meyer Eventing is sponsoring the catering, and it will go along similar lines to last year. It's going to be a big lot of barbecued ribs and barbecue type food and things, and pulled pork. That Ruthie Meyer is the pulled pork guru. While I do the smoking, and she pulls it and stuff. It'll be pretty awesome. We've got other people coming in. We've got a really cool crew that come and help us, and there might just be a little margarita float and things going on. I don't know. You just don't even know what.
You can never tell. I know. We've got, and the other really cool thing is that we've got between 2 different donors, we're going to have 2 groom's prizes for the best turnout horses, $1,000 prize and a $500 prize. So that's actually, that's pretty cool. And yeah, we've got some other great, Lightspeed Equestrian is a new sponsor for us. So that's pretty cool. A farm here in town. And so they want to be part of it, and Peak Performance. And I'm going to forget someone, Worldly Martin Footing, which is the group that, we have to give a big shout out. I don't know if you even know this. Joe, is that Craig Martin of Worldly Martin and his wife Ray had a baby yesterday. So congratulations to those guys. And we can't wait to meet little Millie. She was born yesterday, so that's very exciting. So we'll give a little bit of a shout out to those guys. So, and they're sponsoring our show as well. And a lot of other.
Well, while we're talking about it, we're probably going to have to congratulate Sean Wordley of Wordley Martin for
his engagement.
For his engagement to Lauren Balcom, which is pretty cool too.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All new things happening for those boys. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got, so that should be a good day. Free beer, Brewster Walker Horse Transport. He always gets a couple kegs and free beer for the day for anybody that wants to come. So yeah, it'll be great. We've got a pretty good lineup. I'm pretty excited about the crew that's coming to ride, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good day.
Okay, Max, make it clear to the listeners. The date is what?
The date is March 5th, Tuesday, March 5th, and it starts at 2 p.m. And it is at our farm here at Southern Cross Equestrian. And we have a Facebook page, Eventing Pre-Invitational, so check it out. There's been kind of fun. Some of the competitors are doing little videos to promote themselves and their teams. So that's kind of fun. So check that out, and you get to meet and see a lot of the competitors as they're getting ready and getting excited for getting ready for the show, which is in just about 3 weeks. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. One of the highlights of the year. So
I know.
We're looking forward to it.
I'm pretty excited about it. We just have to, fingers crossed, listeners, for no more rain, because if we have more rain, I'm not really sure we're going to park anybody. So there is that.
Yeah. Well, the road's quite long outside. We'll be right, Max.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah. I know. We're veterans. We can sort it out.
Maybe Matt Flynn will let us park in his ring. Yeah.
No, we're warming up in the ring.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe in his driveway or something. There's plenty of room. There's
plenty of room. Exactly. Right. We'll make it work. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, listeners, I think, Max, it's probably about time that you did the in-bits.
Thank you for listening to the Eventing Riders Association of North America podcast. You can learn more about Eventing Riders Association of North America at eraofna.com. You can find the links to today's guests and topics at eventingradio.com. Follow Eventing Radio on Facebook. Just search the Eventing Radio Show, and on Twitter at Eventing Radio. Listen to the Eventing Radio anytime, anywhere with the free Horse Radio Network app for iPhone and Android. Go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. You can also subscribe via iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. Thanks again to Springtime Supplements for supporting the show, and don't forget to mention the Eventing Radio Show when you place your order for a 15% discount and free shipping. This is Max, and you can find me on Facebook, Max Corcoran Horse Care. You can find me on Twitter. Well, no, you can't really find me on Twitter because I don't really do that. You can find me on Instagram because I do that, at MMC338. And you can read some of my old blogs on Max Corcoran WordPress.
And this is Joe, and you can find me on Facebook, Joe Meyer, my website, joemeyerEventing.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Joe Meyer EVNTR, and Joe Meyer Eventing on Instagram. So, Max, we will talk to you. It's been another really good show, and we'll talk to our listeners again in 4 weeks' time. And is that going to be before or after the event?
Just after the show.
Just after the show.
Yeah.
So we get to a good wrap up. So hopefully, listeners, we'll get to see a lot of you at the Eventing Pre.
Oh yeah, and you guys are your team is coming back for a third year in a row of winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are. I know. Can you believe it?
I know, that's pretty cool.
We're coming in for a hat-trick match. That's what it's going to be. Team unstable.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it. Let's do it.
So, anyway, well, thank you, listeners, and we'll talk to you again in 4 weeks' time.